All right, we have the Middle Tennessee Lady Raiders who won their game 66-44, and they will play UAB in the semifinals tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We have head coach Rick Insel and student athletes A. Queen Hayes and Alex Johnson, and we will begin with a opening statement from Coach.
Well, when we shoot the ball and we execute our offensive flow like we did today early on, we're a pretty tough basketball team. And I was real proud of our young ladies. They did a good job. I think we had 14 field goals at halftime on 9 assists, I believe, and that's pretty good. And we rebounded the ball with authority. So when you do that, you're going to win games. And if you look at the free throws, we was 10 out of 11 free throws. Didn't shoot but 11, but 10 out of 11, we can live with that. That's what championship teams do. So I'm really, really proud of our basketball team.
All right, questions for our student athletes.
Hey, Queen, how were you guys able to shut them down on the defensive end, especially early? Obviously, their shooting percentage was held fairly low. I think they ended up with 5 field goals throughout the course of the first half. What were you guys able to do defensively to?
Defense win games, so we practice hard on defense, and that was our main objective: play defense, keep the ball out of the middle, and help side. It was plenty of times they went in the locker room and we was in huddles and they talked about help side defense. One shot, we had to stay on the boards the whole game.
Alex, y'all got off to scoring 21 points in the first quarter. How big was that, knowing that they came off an exciting win yesterday in double overtime?
I think the biggest thing was just sticking to our rules. No matter what they did, as long as we stayed within our system, we would be good, and we knew that from the tip. Coach Enzo harps on that all the time. Do what we do. We can't worry about what the other team is doing. As long as we're taking care of ourselves, we'll come out with the W.
Hey, Queen, you guys get a third look at UAB. What kind of challenges did they present as you look forward to tomorrow?
We not worrying about them. We're going to focus on ourselves. We got to play our game. We can't play into their game. We just got to come with the energy, and we'll be ready.
All right, we'll let our student athletes get back to the locker room, and we will continue with questions for Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coach, looking at what you guys were able to do defensively in this one, what did you see as the difference in that early going, especially in that first quarter?
Well, we've been working on our defense pretty hard and heavy for the last week. At one time we were in the top 10 in the country defensively, and then we've kind of slacked off, so we went back to our basics from week one. And we knew what we had to do, and they went out there and executed the plan. We kept the ball out of the center, kept it baseline, sidelines, was able to give some help side help like Queen talked about. They got a couple of skip passes in that I wasn't real happy with, but, as you look at the scoreboard, sometimes kids play into the scoreboard, and that's, I think, there for about 4 or 5 minutes we did.
Coach, you made 8 3-pointers tonight. You were shooting at over 60%, I think there in the third quarter. What kind of effect does the 3 ball have on your offense?
Well, I've told everybody, when we shoot the ball well, we're as good as anybody in the country. Now, we're not as good as maybe Connecticut or Baylor, but when we go out and shoot the ball and we play our defensive schemes, and we're a pretty good basketball team. And when we don't knock down shots, we're not even average. But when I saw the ball going in early, I thought right then, it's going to be a pretty good night.
Coach, similar question that I had for A. Queen. Getting a third look at your opponent tomorrow, when you look at it, what kind of challenges do they present to you and your team?
Well, we pretty much manhandled them in Middle Tennessee. I think it was, 30 maybe one time. I don't know if it got to 40. I know it got over 30. And then we went down third place, and we're up 17 at halftime. And then the scoreboard operators took over. So, if they didn't bring their scoreboard people, we're going to be all right. We had a 30-minute delay or 28-minute delay, but, UAB's got a good basketball team. They got 2 good shooters in Kuzmanik and what's the other? Childers. And then they got Barnes, which we think is the most underrated player in our conference. Just a tremendous point guard, knocks down shots, a winner. Just puts them on their back and basically does things to help them get over the hump. And she was the one that kind of was the catalyst at their place when bringing them back. So I understand she hit 5 threes over there today to start the game. So, our kids know them. They know us. there's not going to be any secrets, and it'll come down who just plays the hardest and who wants it the most. And I'd say that along those areas, we're pretty hungry right now. We're pretty hungry. We felt like with the schedule that we had this year, we let some games get away from us. I think we lost 9 games, and we probably should have won 5, maybe 6 of those, to be honest with you. We didn't. We felt like that coming in this tournament, we wanted to be in a position to get an at-large bid, and we know we didn't take care of business like we should have. So now we got to take care of business. That's what our players are thinking about right now.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
All right, we have the UTEP Miners and head coach Kevin Baker and student athlete Jordan Alexander, and we'll begin with a opening statement from Coach.
Middle Tennessee is really good. That's my opening statement. They're really good. They played extraordinarily well, and in fact, I hope they don't take this the wrong way. They have not been playing that well. They've been struggling in their terms. They're still winning, but they haven't been playing as well. And they have chosen the right time of year to play really well. They shot a high percentage today. They did everything that they needed to do. Their top 3 players were every bit as good as you would think they would be. And they have the physicality that it takes to win this tournament. This time of year, sometimes the most physical team wins, and they are certainly that. And when they're allowed to be, they're really, really good. So really impressed, but not surprised with how they played today. Our team, how long do you want me to talk? I'll keep it short, but I'm just so pleased and impressed with our team, specifically Jordan Alexander. Without Jordan's leadership and without the way she plays the game, we would not even be in this room today. We'd be on our way back to El Paso. We're here today because of her and the strength of 7 young ladies that decided to not give up, that we chose not to be a victim of circumstance. We chose to fight above our circumstances, and because of that, we're here today. I do wish we would have played a little bit better. I do wish we would have been a little more competitive in this game because we're losing such a great player that we have no choice but to think about next year, and it would have been nice to have been able to be a little more competitive as we pushed forward into next season. But in terms of this season, really proud of our team. I don't want to coach any other group of kids. These guys have a ton of heart, and I really appreciate what they do for our school and our community.
Questions for our student athlete?
Jordan, they were able to hold you guys down a bit offensively as far as the shooting percentage went throughout the course of the game. Was that a factor in what they were doing to you guys, or was it just more of a matter of not hitting shots, despite some execution?
Middle Tennessee played some great defense. I mean, there were some slip-ups. We just had to execute and then read their mistakes, and that's how we scored. But other than that, our shots weren't falling, and then on top of that, we weren't rebounding well. So, I mean, that plays a huge part of our deficit in the beginning.
You talked about not rebounding well. You got out-rebounded by 20. What do you think, from your opinion, what was the cause of that?
I mean, I guess I could sit up here and have excuses for us. You know, we had a double overtime yesterday. I could sit here and say that we were tired, fatigued, had no legs. But honestly, I just felt like the scoreboard kind of held us back, and we just didn't fight as hard as we could.
You
All right.
were a senior, emotional time coming off the court there. Can you talk about what this program and Coach Baker meant to you?
I've been very grateful to have committed here, and me and Coach Baker talk about this all the time. I came in, it was just me and him on my visit, and we were trying to figure it out together. So he's played a huge part of my life. He's had a great impact, and I'm very grateful for him to be in my life.
All right, we'll let Jordan get back to the locker room, and we'll finish up with questions for Coach.
Thank you, Jordan. Coach, Jordan just mentioned obviously the emotional double overtime win yesterday. Do you think, I mean, having played them back-to-back days, how much of a factor do you think that played, especially with, rotation of 7?
I'm going to surprise you with this answer. I don't think it had anything to do with it. Isn't that weird? I mean, you would think that playing back-to-back, double overtime would be a big thing, but I just think Middle Tennessee played so well, and early too. They kind of hit us early, and we just never really recovered, and that zapped our energy more than playing yesterday did, I thought. And I thought they played so well and shot the ball so well early that it just kind of stung us. And, that just affects everything else. I mean, we're a team that we're +4 in rebounding every time we play. And today we were destroyed on the boards. That doesn't happen to us. Well, a lot of that is our energy level just was not good because we couldn't never get over the hump, and so that really affected us. So I know that a lot of people outside of here will say, well, poor them, they had to play double overtime. But really, that wasn't it. I thought Middle Tennessee just played extraordinarily well.
You talked about Middle Tennessee getting off to a hot start. I think they hit 5 of their first 8 3-pointers. How big was that? How deflating was that to your team?
Well, it was particularly deflating because we know that they make about 7 per game. And so, we're scouted to kind of force them to shoot a shot. Maybe they don't want to shoot. A couple of their players would rather get to the rim than shoot the three. So we're trying to take them out of that, trying to make them drive it, trying to make, shooters not shoot it. But they had some kids hit threes early that don't normally hit threes for them, and that got us. A couple of our kids came off the bench that don't play as much as the others. And when we forced them to shoot threes, they made them, and they're looking like, Coach, we're letting her shoot. I know, and she made it, and that's basketball for you. But, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you gamble, and it pays off for you, like yesterday. Sometimes you gamble, and it doesn't. And, you got to play the odds. You got to play the percentages, and you got to take your hat off to them. When someone dares you to shoot it, and you do, and that sucker drops in there, you got to take your hat off to that player. They did what we didn't think they could do.
You mentioned you couldn't help but look forward to how things are going to shake out in terms of next year. What does this experience here at this tournament and the way you went through that game yesterday and even today kind of prepare you with that group to succeed again next year?
Well, first of all, I'm really glad you asked that question. I really appreciate that because I do want to say for what it's worth, the people that put this tournament on, people just think this throws itself together. A lot of people worked hard to make this tournament as successful as it has been, as it will be. We feel great being here at the Star. This is a great venue. I hope we have it here for 100 more years. This is just a great place to play. Everybody wants to come to Dallas. Everybody wants to come to Frisco. So I just really appreciate all the people that put in a lot of hard work to make this tournament great, and a lot of it were the people in this room. So I really appreciate that. And just to answer your question, really though, you know, you try hard all year long not to talk about next year, because you only have one senior, and you really don't want to talk about next year because none of us are promised tomorrow. But you know, at the same time, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, you know, we should be a team on the rise next year. We should be a tough team to beat. You know, not only what we've got coming back, but what we're bringing in as well. We've been saying all year long that we're really excited about the future here with UTEP women's basketball. I'm even more excited now watching us compete in this tournament. And it's been good for us. And for us to come here as an 11 seed, beat a 6 seed, overcome some odds, it's been good for our confidence. It's been good to shape and mold us for the future.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.